everybody, live from Pasadena, California. A change of venue for you folks. It's the OZone. I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother, Terry Miller. How you feeling?
I'm here. And I've been bitten by a serious mosquito.
Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know anything about it, Google mosquito infestation Los Angeles. There has been a mosquito outbreak. I know that's why you guys, not why you guys tune in, but there's a mosquito outbreak that's going on in Southern California with these special mosquitoes that are probably GMOs that have...
And I'm a victim of them.
Yeah, me too. And they bite you underneath the knee. That's their hallmark. It's some special form of mosquito that's running rampant. And it's causing a lot of allergic reactions. And even to my brother, the Icons. It's unfortunate.
Very.
Must be a Dodger fan. But let's get it on, folks. We got a lot to cover today. Primarily, we're going to focus on postseason baseball. We haven't spoken to you because we were out on the road. I went out to New York City, out at the Javits Center. I went and indulged in a little Comic-Con action, folks, because I'm Raphael. And from time to time, Raph's got to make an appearance. And that's what happened. People traveled from far and wide to come get an autograph, talk to us about the new show, Rise of the TMNT. It's all good. But we're back in the saddle now, and I've been watching baseball all week, and I got a lot of bones to pick. 3 of the 4 series have already been decided, and the 4th series may be decided by the time you guys hear this podcast, to be honest. But let's start off with the Brewers and the Rockies. Very disappointing outing by the Rockies.
I'm not really disappointed in them because they literally didn't have what it takes this year. I feel like they were a good team. I wanted them to go, but the Milwaukee Brewers are a better team. I mean, literally, they work on getting into their bullpen. They get into their bullpen. It's a problem.
Yeah, and they've been getting surprisingly good outings from their starting pitching.
Yeah. Because
I don't expect much from Jules Chassin.
Yeah, but they're only going 5. You know, they're usually trying to work to go 5 and dive, and after that, you get into the bullpen. That bullpen is filthy. I mean,
airtight.
Dirty.
But I tell you what, the reason I'm disappointed in the Rockies is because there was a lot of fundamental baseball plays that they didn't make, which then in turn cost them. Bullpen, no bullpen. If you get deep into a game or the beginning of a game and you get runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, you got to get those guys home.
You got to get them home. I agree. But could you agree that that's wear and tear from the road, from the travel that they were going through?
Some of it was that, but some of it was not that. Some of it was bad coaching. Bud Black is a notoriously defensive coach. And me, myself, I don't understand why David Dahl didn't play more. David Dahl was their hottest hitter in the month of September.
Yeah, and there was no reason to sit him down.
Especially for Matt Holliday, who is, at the end of the road.
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with Matt Holliday.
And it was almost like they was giving him a farewell tour, which he, he
didn't really deserve. I mean, it was
not right now. He doesn't.
It was a big deal for him to get back to, to the show.
Yeah,
he wasn't even in the major leagues. And
he should have been a supplement player.
Yeah, but instead,
or a compliment player, rather.
I know what you mean. He ends up in the clutch situation with the bases loaded, the runners on second and third with no outs, and
strikes
he can't
out.
even make contact.
He strikes out.
And you got David Dahl that was going to pinch in for him, and Bud Black called him back.
Well,
all because they were scared of that kid Hader coming in.
Yeah, but you know what, though? The cream rises to the top at this point, and he's not the cream anymore.
No, he's not. And you know what? We're seeing that youth movement all across the board because this kid Hader is one of the biggest weapons in the postseason that's out there. Please believe it. Old racist tweets or not, the kid can deal. And he can deal for multiple innings if need be. He can deal however you need it. Now, personally, I feel like you can get him with the lights being too bright. Like the Cubs got him at the end of the season. And the Cubs actually had him in trouble when they played them in the wild card game. And he clutched up.
I don't believe that. I think for that kid, especially since he's been under scrutiny, I think that one of the biggest problems for him is just being worn out a little bit. Because,
maybe that's it. Maybe I'm interpreting it as the lights being too bright.
Yeah,
but I could go for that.
Yeah, because it's a long season and he's never been there before, and it's not about the lights. I don't feel like with him, it's like he just hasn't been there enough as far as physically.
Right,
and with the lights coming on, and most of the time it's just like whoa, like we're seeing from Severino.
Yeah. Oh man, let's get to that in a second. But who else the lights seemed too bright for? He ended up working through it. Was Jeffries.
Yeah.
The lights do seem too bright for him, and that's going to be a problem.
True. But I think that he's there now. I mean, he came back. He bounced back. And that's what you need. That's what you need, though.
But they let him come back. I felt like...
Yeah, but all you need to do is grab your confidence. It doesn't matter how you get back. As long as I'm back, I'm here.
I am. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's true stubby. But, so they plowed through them 3-0, and I think that it can't be overstated that the Milwaukee Brewers have the Kansas City Royals North going, and that is a big deal.
just having that complement of Kansas City Royals players right now.
Just recently won a World Series.
Man, are you kidding?
First of all,
so big.
They lost a World Series. Then they came back and won a World Series with still arguably, in my opinion, maybe the best team I've ever seen play any sport.
Really?
That 2015 Royals team-wise, I mean, they should never have been the favorites against anybody. And there's no way they should have beat that Mets team in real life. They shouldn't have beat that Mets team.
Front line, a monster front line that they went against.
Thor, DeGrom, and a young Mets.
Yeah.
And they plowed through those dudes. And, somebody always stepped up in that. But I digress. Back to Milwaukee now. What's happening with Milwaukee now is you're seeing guys make plays. I just personally, and I said it before, I don't believe, and you told me, hey, they have it all. They can bang you out. Which is true. They got Yelich, who is the clear MVP at this point.
Right. My biggest knock for them was that because they didn't play good defense earlier.
Yeah, and now they seem like they're tightening up.
And it's tightened up.
And that's partially to do with the Kansas City Royal acquisition.
Yeah.
Because now Renzo doesn't let anything drop. Moustakas is airtight over at third base. They're a complete team. I don't know about Craig Counsell, and what I'm learning more and more is this coaching is essential.
And that's where I'm sold. I'm sold on Craig Counsell because he actually showed you he really outcoached Bud Black.
He clearly outcoached Bud Black.
I mean, and Craig Counsell is a winner.
That's saying.
I mean, Craig Counsell, what does he have 2 rings?
Craig Counsell was a winner.
Yeah, and from Florida, I mean, the Marlins were tough. He was a tough hitter. Didn't he get the winning knock in one of the series? Wasn't he the guy that got that knock up the middle? Right? Yeah.
You're pumped up. So yeah. Turbo.
How did?
Oh, no wonder it's not working. I'm turning the wrong dial.
I am.
Yeah, that's he did. He got a big knock. Didn't he get one in Arizona?
Yeah. He's the real deal, man. I think he's got 2, maybe 3 rings, right?
I don't know if he's got 3. He got a 2-piece though.
He got a 2-piece for sure.
He's coming for you. How again? Yeah. So we got that series wrapped up, and now Milwaukee is waiting for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I have to say, the Dodgers, and this is as a Dodger fan, the Dodgers look better than I expected them to look. And one big reason for that is because Hyun-Jin Ryu showed up and showed out. And if you can get 7 scoreless from Hyun-Jin Ryu, the Dodgers are in really, really good shape. Because you still got the GOAT sitting back there who, without his best stuff, can still give you 8 on any given day.
Solid 8.
And then
8-ball quarter pocket.
He consolidates for you. And then you also have Walker Buehler. Now, one thing that I really liked that Dave Roberts did was the Dodgers won the series 3-1, for anybody who doesn't know. Walker Buehler got into trouble, and it was all between his ears. It wasn't his stuff. He just literally could not find the strike zone. Nobody really knows what happens, but if you've ever pitched before, you know what happens. Sometimes
you just lose it.
You just lose it.
I lost in the moment.
Yeah, and he owned it. You better never let it go. Yeah, and then he did that. He gives up a grand slam. The Dodgers are down 5-0. Best thing that Dave Roberts did was keep him in the game. So, like I said, the Dodgers overperformed. Buehler stays in the game, saves the bullpen. The Dodgers did not want to come back to Chavez Ravine for Game 5. Now it lines up so that they get their pitching set the way that they want it to be set. And you could potentially look at a Kershaw-type player in the games 1, 4, and 7 if need be.
Right.
You always like to go position by position. I think that in that situation, Milwaukee has a lot of advantages. But got to do something about Cody Bellinger.
The K machine.
People love him. And he's a good-looking kid. He has a lot of potential. But he's never, just like I told you earlier in this year, he never fixed that thing that got exposed with the Astros last year in the World Series.
And you knew that they were going to go right back to it.
And I'll say they go back to the World Series and face the Astros. What do you think the Astros are going to do to him?
Make him look really, really bad.
He's going to be unplayable, which is okay because I want Matt Kemp in the game anyways myself.
Yeah, but I don't think that Dave Roberts will ever give in to just taking the kid out. I mean,
no, I don't think so either.
It seems like he's sold on him, and for some reason, I don't know if Matt Kemp's in the doghouse or what's going on.
I don't know what it is.
Or like you had stated in the past, is that maybe it's an incentive-driven clause or something like that. But Matt Kemp should be playing all the time, full time.
Playing all the time, especially. And Jock Peterson, too. Jock Peterson's a big-time ball player, you come to find.
Yeah, well, Jock's been in left, and Cody's been in center, and Puig's been in right. Yeah. And Puig's been playing above average to me.
Puig, maybe the series MVP.
Yeah.
Puig,
he's putting it together.
He's putting it together.
I mean, not to the potential of what everybody thought that he was going to be, like a 40 home run guy.
And he's not over. Average, he's still very young.
Yeah, but, they were looking for that. But now he's just giving you some of the smaller things that you need to win games.
Now, does Puig get the crazy deal that Jason Hayward got? Jason Hayward got
I don't see why
5 from the Cubs. There's no way you can tell me you'd rather have Jason Hayward than Puig.
No, I wouldn't.
At this point in their careers.
Yeah, but I would definitely. I'd give Puig $1.25. Tell him he can have it.
Wow.
I wouldn't.
You want it?
you can have it. I would definitely not give. I mean, are the days of the monster contracts like that? Maybe because guys have taken advantage of that and don't produce. Maybe.
I don't know. I can't call it, but I know that I'm looking forward to the series, and you can catch us at the Ravine because this is going to be a humdinger.
And a really, really groovy show.
A stone groove, baby. A stone gas. Yeah, so we got that. Then on the flip side, the Cleveland Indians disappeared because the Houston Astros absolutely, positively destroyed them.
That's what great pitching does. And then you throw in a couple of sticks here and there, which is like 8 out of the 9.
I would say 6 out of their 9. And
6 out of 9, huh?
Yeah.
Who do you got? Who's the weak link? They let Brian McCann swing it the other day. He didn't look good.
He didn't.
B-Mac hadn't swung in a long time. No.
Yeah, and that cheese looks like that. You get older, you can't catch up with the cheese.
The bat speed goes.
Yeah.
But, I would go 7 out of the 9. Well, they had your man in left field, the lefty, but he swung it. The lefty.
Mar1?
No. Marwin swings it.
Josh Reddick?
No, what's the kid's name? Tony
Kemp.
Yeah, Tony Kemp.
Yeah, one Kemp is playing in the playoffs.
And he does well. But then you're talking.
He brings another element of speed.
Yeah, George Springer in center. You got Josh Reddick who swings it. Jose Altuve.
I feel like Josh Reddick swings it.
Gurriel, but Josh Reddick swings it when you need it. Altuve, Correa, and Bregman. Come on, man. That's Compton, Long Beach. You're in trouble.
And I hate to say it, but they look great. They filled those holes.
Why do you hate to say that?
Because they filled the holes. They're at the point of being like the Golden State Warriors of baseball.
Right.
They filled the holes in the bullpen. Garrett Cole comes, like we told you, off of that arbitration nonsense in Pittsburgh. And Garrett Cole, the real Garrett Cole, has stood up, and he's striking out 10, 12 guys a game, and he's dominating. There's something about the domination that is really tough on the team.
Right, and what they give you, too, when you talk about horses and Verlander and Garrett Cole, they go deep into the games.
They go deep into the game.
7, 8, maybe 9 if you need it. I mean,
I have it.
I know, but you know what? They don't really usually have to do it because they score so many runs and
that the game isn't even close.
Yeah, they jump.
Scotty and Mike.
They jump. Yeah, towel over your head, fourth quarter.
Scotty and Mike.
They jumped on Corey Kluber. Kluber gave up four runs in 4 innings.
They hit up Corey Kluber like he didn't win 20 games this year.
Right.
So Corey Kluber,
Carrasco,
and then Clevenger, who actually pitched the best out of all of them.
Yep.
But surprisingly, Trevor Bauer they got to, but Trevor Bauer's a reliever. I don't understand how Trevor Bauer's a top 10 pitcher in the major leagues all year, and then suddenly he's in the bullpen.
Doesn't make any sense, but you know what? They paid for it now, so now they can come watch the game next to us at the stadium.
Come join the OZone, guys. And I really like their lineup. I called you before game 1, and I said, you know what? I'm looking at these lineups. I actually like the Indians tonight.
Oh, poor child.
Family. You got my man Lindor, who was the only person on the team who looked like he was up for the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Lindor was up for the challenge. Jose Ramirez got completely shut down. Edwin Encarnacion didn't even play long enough to get injured.
Right? That's
he's like Chris Paul.
Classic Edwin.
Yeah. And then, guys just got shut down. Very disappointed. Now, I felt like the winner of that series was going to win the World Series, and we'll see if that remains to be seen. Because
Boston or the Yankees, neither one of them actually have anything that's overpowering besides their sticks. And when the Houston Astros score more runs than everybody in baseball.
By a lot.
And then you also talk about their pitching. Their front line pitching is dominant, and they have a bullpen now. So the Yankees or the Red Sox, to me, are sacrificial lambs.
We're going to see that because that's why they play the games, and they still got some games to play, or at least one game to play, because by the time that you guys hear this, the series may have already been decided between the greatest rivalry in sports, as they call it, between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Alex Cora doesn't get enough
kudos.
No, yeah, he's not even. I don't even hear people in the conversation for him as a first-year manager. Wins the most games in the league. Win the most games in the league in a while. And he made adjustments. They lost that second game because David Price got jumped on, as David Price does. And then the Yankees brought out, as you so eloquently tweeted, their right-handed David Price, known as Luis Severino.
Yeah, and he got destroyed. He can't, if he does not work with the lead, he's not an effective pitcher. He has a serious confidence problem, and that's an issue in itself in New York. The lights are way too bright for him.
Yeah, they seem like they're way too bright.
But
they dim down if he gets a lead, which is really interesting.
Right. So he needs to have like crazy run support. He would never be able to pitch like Clayton Kershaw pitches with 1 or 2 runs in a game, and have you ever seen him dominate in a tight game, come out with that win?
He won that wild card game.
Yeah, how tight was the game? Was it tighter than the bread on the meat of your sandwich?
No, it wasn't. Judge helped him out early.
Yeah,
and then he only went 4 2/3, or 4 1/3.
This is what I'm saying. So in that,
it's early to, in my opinion, it's early to cast the dispersions of him being a full bum. But
he's not a bum because he still has potential and talent. But the thing of it is that I don't feel like it's suited for New York because we were speaking about Jabba Chamberlain and Ian Kennedy and all these other guys that come before him.
Out of there.
And the Yankees get rid of you if you don't perform. They used to. I don't know what they do now because they got rid of Joe Girardi, and it seems like that might come back to haunt them.
I have not been impressed with Aaron Boone's work.
No, not at all. I mean, he's done a few suspect things that look like they're coming back to haunt him, but he's the one at the end of the day is going to have to take blame.
Sure is, because it's a good team.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know what part he played in getting Stanton instead of the potential MVP in J.D. Martinez, but J.D. Martinez is out there has changed Boston. He's like he's made himself felt like a right-handed David Ortiz
type player, right?
Yeah, because he just doesn't have the pedigree just yet. Not that he can't get there, but he doesn't have the rings at this point.
Yeah, well, everybody that was on the show before, I hate to tell you guys, I told you so, and I really don't hate to tell you that. But
he doesn't hate to
because J.D. Martinez is a complete hitter. He's what you're looking for. If you just want to go get a slugger, you grab a Stanton. But in clutch situations, that does not help you because Stanton is going to strike out in big-time situations, whereas J.D. Martinez will give himself up and go to right field and just get a double or a base knock or move a runner over.
Professional.
Mm-hmm. Last night, you saw him.
Honestly, I think Arizona wins the West if they have J.D. Martinez.
I really have to agree with that because he's a game changer.
His war's got to be crazy, and I hate war.
Yeah. It probably isn't because they keep saying that Mike Trout's is the highest. So his can't be too crazy. It could be nuts.
I mean, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to get to Chavez Ravine for those games. Hopefully there's 5 games.
Is it the games or the popcorn? You love a good bag of corn.
No, it's definitely not the popcorn.
That's me.
They don't even have good popcorn at Dodger Stadium. But what else do we got? We got this Red Sox game tonight. Which may or may not have already played out by the time you hear this. But we got CC going up against potentially Porcello. The Yankee sticks got to get going. It is what it is. And I don't know.
I really don't have a lot of faith in Rick Porcello, but he does show up sometime. And not only that, CC knows how to give you the 5 and dive. But against this Red Sox team,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
But they are a fastball hitting team. And CC is.
And I don't agree.
No, you just think they're a hitting team.
They're a hitting team, especially with J.D. Martinez, because this is the element that J.D. Martinez brought. He's a student of the game, so he studies hitting, and he's willing. Watch J.D. Martinez make the adjustments, and if he doesn't make the adjustments after his first at bat, after you see him in his first at bat, that'll tell you how that game is going to go. Because J.D. Martinez is how you stirred that whole pot over there.
Sure is, and he learned from Miguel Cabrera.
Right,
really, really helped him out going to Detroit. Best trade ever happened to Big J.D. Man, unbelievable.
So CC, to me, if they can't, and I know that they're not going to get length out of him. That's not what you can expect out of him now. But what you want him to do is keep you in the game. And if he can't keep you in the game, then they're going to have a problem. I mean, they brought out the whooping sticks last night.
That was ugly. At Yankee Stadium.
You
could be looking at a Red Sox celebration at Yankee Stadium once again.
But the rivalry is not what it used to be.
No.
I mean, because you're talking about guys taking a dose to the head and, guys getting drilled at least 3 or 4 times in a series.
CC just drilled somebody to the tune of 500 G.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the playoffs.
He would have. CC is one of those guys.
Yeah, CC is one of those guys, but you maybe have 2 or 3 of those guys on the whole team.
Now, CC has also made it very clear that his services, once this season is over, are still available. So if you would like to have CC Sabathia play for you, he's available to get busy.
Probably go back to Oakland.
I don't see why not, blood.
Yeah.
Sound business. So, man, baseball, it's going down. I can't wait for all the series to start.
So you feel like
championship series.
I was going to say, so you feel like the other ones weren't really serious.
Well, you know what? The games weren't as tight as I like them to feel like, and those tight games are critical. I really, really like that. And when you got Brock Holt going for the cycle off of a position player in a playoff game,
it's not up to code.
It's not tight.
What about Angel Hernandez?
What about your friend Angel Hernandez? This guy, I never liked him. For all I know, he got my good friend Angel Hernandez to make a bad call.
Again.
Yeah, it's wow. Angel Hernandez blew the game, even though, thank God, the game wasn't close.
Right. He tried, though. Get him an EF effort.
He did
his best to blow the game. I mean, Angel Hernandez should have retired years ago. Honestly, I don't remember when he was a good umpire.
And neither does Pedro Martinez, because Pedro gave it to him on the post.
Oh, did he?
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, man. He didn't feel it. He talked about how he was never one of the good umpires.
He wasn't. He was like a la Eric Gregg, Trader Joe West. Those guys just go out there and they make a lot of calls to me on ego or,
right.
Not necessarily how the game or the temp. They seem to me not to be focusing on the game a lot because a lot of the calls that they get wrong, they shouldn't get wrong.
Right.
Angel Hernandez last night was atrocious. There's a couple of calls at first base. Yeah, and he literally just looked like he took his eye off the play if he's not going to make the correct call.
Yeah. And they have replay, which makes it even worse because you used to be able to see a blown call and be like, man, did you see him blow that call?
And then everybody's pissed at Angel Hernandez for a year,
yeah,
or for lifetime.
And now it's a replay, and he has to wear the embarrassment of being so wrong. And this is why it's just unacceptable to have a guy like him calling balls and strikes, because I've seen Angel Hernandez ambush pitchers once they get on his bad side,
right? And
that's why Pedro doesn't feel his work because Pedro's seen it as well.
Now I wonder, is he behind the dish tonight?
Ooh, my goodness. I'm surprised.
He calls terrible balls and strikes as well.
That's what I mean.
He's terrible balls and strikes. He can't call it in the field. So what are you worth as far as being an umpire?
Man, you tell me. What will you pay him?
Nada.
Is he good for $100 million?
No. Pack of smokes.
Dude, Marlboros, lights. So, moving on. Did you see UFC 229?
I did not see the whole thing. I saw the melee.
I saw the melee. It was kind of crazy because it looked like one of those commercials with all the found footage. And I saw that more so than I even saw the actual footage.
Right.
And you know what I gathered from it? Everybody isn't just out to promote fights.
Right.
And Conor McGregor bumped his gums, and they caught him on a hot mic saying, hey, it's just business in the fight. And obviously, the Khabib, it was not just business.
He took it seriously, and I'm not mad at him.
I'm not either, because they brought in his religion, they brought in faith, they brought in
his country, his parents.
They called him a Muslim rat and a dog in the ring during the fight. Forget about the promo. Forget about storming the bus and breaking windows and almost cutting somebody, making somebody lose their eye.
And then you just want to act like it didn't happen and say, hey, this is only business. No, that's the same kind of stuff that they're doing in this administration now.
This is what I was just about to say. This is a serious problem in the world, and this is something that capitalism exports that is unfortunate.
You can't grant forgiveness on this.
No, there's a line.
Yeah, there's a line.
There's a great article, if you have a chance, go jump on Deadspin. There's a great article on Deadspin that talks about how Dana White has done everything that he can to foster this kind of environment for Conor McGregor. Because Conor McGregor, in the history of his promoting fights, loves to drop the F-bomb, loves to talk about things that are supposed to be taboo, somebody's wife,
all to sell tickets.
All to sell tickets. It's not acceptable. And I understand poverty is rough, but this isn't the way to go. And he learned. And honestly, it seems like the ref didn't appreciate his work either, because as soon as Khabib started with the rear naked choke, he tried to tap out. If you go rewatch the tape,
yeah, and he wouldn't give it up.
Soft that he wouldn't give it up. He made him give up a full tap out.
Give it up, Red.
And then another thing, everybody's giving Conor McGregor all this credit because, he's not pressing charges. See, he understands, blah, blah. No, he's not pressing charges because if you go back and watch the footage again, Conor McGregor is actually the person who threw the first sucker punch. Khabib,
being the sucker that he is,
soft sucker. Yeah. So Khabib hops the octagon because he's about it. Khabib hops the octagon, goes after the trainer who's been talking crazy during the fight. Meanwhile, Khabib's trainer jumps, just trying to get over the octagon. McGregor climbs up and hits him with a left. And that is what prompted Khabib's brother, I think it was, that was in the red, that came up and started chunking him. And Conor McGregor went into the shell. He didn't want none.
Right. I mean, but this is what happens, though, when you run your mouth like this. And he thinks that it's a game, and it's not. Literally, you went too far. You
went too far. See, this is the thing. In the shock media world of the internet, in the instant gratification world of the internet, never is there something that's too far.
And obviously it was.
In the third world, it is.
Yeah, and maybe you'll learn the level of respect now.
I hope.
Because it's not necessary to sell tickets. If you are who you say you are, then you should be able to sell tickets without putting on the horse and pony like he's putting on. Because being disrespectful like that is not acceptable. You can make fun of guys, okay, whatever. But then when you start getting personal, like you're talking about his family, you're talking about his religion,
talking about his
you're
dad,
talking about his country, you're talking about his whole life. This guy has respect and pride for his religion, his country, and everything else. So why is it that you feel like it's okay to mess with that? There's other places that you can go as far as in maybe his fighting style or something like that, but you really can't find no fault in his fighting style. He's 27-0.
His skills are extraordinary.
But now he knows firsthand because he didn't actually get the whole sleeper on him. He looked like he was trying to break his neck.
Man, yeah, he did. And he didn't even get it deep under there.
Yeah.
He would have ripped his head off. And I think that's why Conor wanted to tap so quick. He knew that he was facing an enemy that was not playing. This wasn't just a fight. There was no, just like he said, it's not going to be any handshakes afterwards. He stood over him and towered over him as if to say, you want some more? I can end your life right now.
Let me rock you, Amadeus. Straight rocked him to the jaw.
Oh, man, on stand-up.
Oh, man.
That wasn't nothing to do with
you got to give Conor credit because he stood it. He took the punch. He didn't take it all the way, but you mean he's supposed to have his chin tucked down. But his chin supposed to be tucked in the first place. What was up with that?
Oh, man. I'm not over-impressed. But then you had the other piece, which was your man giving the greatest post-fight interview ever, people are calling it. When Joe Rogan asked him why he took his pants off and switched to shorts, he said, because my balls was hot.
Oh.
And he gave you some strong tap dance work.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that. That shuck and jive, I'm not interested. Take that somewhere else.
He dropped that Amos and Andy on him. And, so that was that. But then we have some interesting news happening in the world of boxing. So the WBC just had its annual gala convention out in Kiev, Ukraine, with Mayor and former champion Vitaly Klitschko hosting. It was a lot of beautiful photos, a lot of people out there that we spoke to about it. And maybe the most interesting thing that came about was this crazy quagmire that they announced for the middleweight division.
Yeah, where they're trying to force Triple G to fight
Charlo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand how you force a guy who's not the champion. He's not defending a belt now. You've already stolen his belts.
You know it's politics, and basically what they're doing is that they're putting a squeeze on him, trying to make sure that he can never get those belts back again.
Yeah.
That's the way that I feel about it.
A Charlo-type player takes a lot out of you. It's going to be tough to beat him. And
especially at Triple G's age and stage in his career.
Yeah.
He's fought wars.
And then Canelo, for some reason, is moving to 68
to fight a cupcake.
And I don't know.
I don't think it's
work,
a cupcake.
But I was about to say I don't know the guy's work, but I don't know if he's.
These are the guys that steal your belts
on the low.
Yeah.
On the sneak, but he ain't going to lose.
But he ain't going to lose. Yeah,
168. But the guy's already talking slick. This guy's Rocky Fielding. He's already said he's too small. He said, I'm going to come in that night 185, 190. And we'll see if he can take a real super middleweight.
I don't think so.
We'll see. I don't know his
He couldn't take Triple G. I mean, he couldn't take Triple G. He took his best punches, but he couldn't take his belt as far as mano a mano.
But what you're saying is you don't have to take his belt.
Yeah, basically.
And then what happened is they announced the fight, which could be the fight of the year, folks, with with Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And the trash talk has been ensuing. And
this is great trash talk.
It's some great trash talk. It's especially if you've ever been in the black church. Because Deontay Wilder likes to preach, and he talks about taking you to baptism with his right hand.
I think Tyson Fury's going to give him a problem.
I do too.
Because
even though he hasn't looked great.
No, he hasn't looked great, but he does have fundamental boxing skills. He's an unorthodox, and he's got size and height, and that's going to be a problem for him.
Jab.
Yeah, and he's got a jab, but that height is a problem to me because I haven't found Deontay Wilder to fight anybody his size or his height, and that's going to be a problem because before with his right, which is always to his advantage, is that he can come down on you.
Yep.
And with this guy, I do believe Fury's a little bit taller than him. Yeah, taller,
6'9".
Yeah, so it's a problem. I mean, and he doesn't have great punching power, but his style is so weird. That's why he gave Klitschko a problem.
Yep.
And Klitschko is one of the greatest champions ever.
Yep.
I'm reading right now that Billy Joe Saunders has been denied a license.
And that's because he failed the test. And he was one of the main guys that jumped all over Canelo about cheating. And now they're saying that – I've read something else about this Billy Joe Saunders. He's failed a VADA test. And what they're saying is the substance that he was on, I guess, is legal in the UK and illegal via VADA. So he's claiming still that he's a clean fighter and that he's ready to go. But now they've denied him his license, which is not good for Billy Joe Saunders because he's the only other guy with the belt at 160. So you're looking at all these fights that Canelo could have made at 160.
Right.
A trilogy with Triple G, Charlo, another champion in Billy Joe Saunders. Danny Jacobs has a belt. But no, instead of that, you want to go to 168 to fight a guy that no one's ever heard of.
I think that they're doing
except for the people in Liverpool might.
Right. Well, they're giving you some classic Floyd work at this point now at the end of his career where you're cherry picking now. You know,
we'll see because we'll see if the fight even does any numbers. And this is something, they're assuming that it's going to travel because they're fighting in Madison Square Garden. But I don't know about that. We'll see how it goes. Now, they did just announce another interesting fight that, I mean, it's kind of lopsided, but it's interesting at the same time, which is Kell Brook and Amir Khan are going to fight.
Right.
And
Amir Khan can't beat Kell Brook.
I don't believe that either, but I don't know if Kell Brook's eyes are ever going to get back together.
Even if it doesn't, though, Amir doesn't hit that hard like that, like a Earl Spence or a Gennady to even fracture the orbital bone.
Yeah, but that orbital bone might be weak. Bone, 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 bone. Tell me what you gonna do when you come around. Judgment come for you.
You were in the zone.
Dude, I rake when I'm in the zone. I
in the ozone.
When I'm in the zone. Oh, good one. I see what you did there. Yeah, well, we got a lot to cover, folks, but we just want to give you a small dose of the ozone. We've been out on the road. We're back at home. You've heard it before, but believe us this time. There's consistency coming.
Yeah, believe us. Please believe.
Please.
Well, we got to give Drew Brees a shout-out. He just broke the record.
I'm pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You don't want to give John Gruden a shout-out?
Yeah.
$100 million coach?
Yeah, for stealing Raiders' money.
He stole them.
Especially for an organization that I don't like.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, and
football season is actually shaping up to be pretty interesting. I don't believe in the Kansas City Chiefs.
I
do believe in Pat Mahomes, I don't believe in the Chiefs.
I know they just beat the Jags,
which was impressive.
Which is impressive. I have to give him because I wasn't believing like that.
Your boy disappeared again. Blake, the old Blake Bortles showed up, and I don't know what it is about Blake Bortles.
Well, he doesn't have his receivers that he used to have, so he's getting acclimated to these two new receivers, with Dede Westbrook and Keelan Cole. Because, he had Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson before, and now he has to get adjusted to having these two new receivers. Yeah.
Outrunning the whole night.
Exactly. So I'm not going to put it all on Blake Bortles because he showed up against the New England Patriots, and I had to give him love for that for a long time.
Yeah, he did.
And that's a big game.
You're right. It's a big game.
So, but with the Chiefs going in there and handling them like that, that's very, very impressive, even for Andy Reid.
Yep. Well, not going in there. They were at home.
Well, yeah, but still.
But I hear what you're saying, Jack.
Yeah.
The Jags' defense is very real.
Yeah.
And the Rams pulled out a game that was so impressive.
Yeah.
I really, really was impressed with McVay, with the youth, with the play calling, because that's a play,
adjustments.
That's a play John Gruden gets wrong
all the time.
That's
just like losing Khalil Mack. That's
just like not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line, and we're not talking about on the Seahawks. We're talking about right now, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Rams still look good. They say they're in for a tight one in Denver. I'm saying the Rams are going to blow Denver out.
Why are they in for a tight one in Denver?
I have no
Denver
idea.
has a problem stopping the run. They're good pass rush, but they have a problem stopping the run.
Best running back in football.
And they have the best running back in football.
On the planet.
Yes. So why is it that, on any given Sunday, but other than that, I don't see them having a problem right now, especially with Denver. Denver can't score.
Yeah, I agree.
As a matter of fact, I'm going on the fantasy on FanDuel and probably put that Rams defense in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, you poor Cowboy fans.
What's wrong, boy?
You said something interesting about Dak.
Which part?
How you feel about how Dak kind of gets played.
Oh yeah, Dak is getting played. It's unfortunate because
in the public eye.
Because him standing up for his beliefs. Now people are pushing against him, but he's not a bad quarterback. He's lost some of his offensive line. He's lost, and then that's always going to be a problem because now he's just like a lot of these other quarterbacks in the league where he has to hike the ball and start running.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, would you rather have Tony Romo or Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott, I feel like, is up and coming, and he's only been in the league 2 years, and you guys are holding him down to, got his feet over the coals. Give him an opportunity. Give him some receivers. He doesn't even have any receivers. Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley, he has Allen Hurns, but you have to have a complement of players, not just a one-sided event, and then you're talking about a system. The system needs to fit the player.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that Dak is now being looked at close to a bust right now.
Well,
I've heard murmurs of bringing Tony Romo back. Why would you do that?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty far. But, a lot of that has to do with his stance with riding with Trump and MAGA. And that rubs the culture the wrong way in a lot of ways.
I'm not down with it either, but I can't say that the kid doesn't have talent.
Watching that doesn't mean his work ain't up to code.
Right. So if you give him receivers, do you think that if you put him on a team like Kansas City that has a bunch of top-notch receivers, you got an above average running back, but you don't have an offensive line anymore like you had,
which is not the Cowboys in their repertoire normally.
Right, because Ezekiel Elliott is actually tearing the league up.
You can't be mad at Zeke.
Yeah, but
you definitely can't be mad at Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, my man. So what do you want this kid to do?
And I'm talking about on the flip side of the ball in that all-Texas battle. Deshaun Watson and my man DeAndre Hopkins that I have on my fantasy team.
I like Will Fuller.
DeAndre Hopkins may be the best receiver in football now.
He's awesome, but Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins gets so much attention that Will Fuller usually is the one who reaps the benefits.
Must lose.
Yeah. But once Watson gets his legs under him, he's going to be a problem with all those receivers because I don't feel like he has his confidence yet with his legs. After that injury with those knees,
is like his third ACL tear.
Yeah.
Speaking of ACLs, R.I.P. to the ACL of Jay Ajayi.
Oh man, you had him on your squad too.
I did. He was on the bench though.
Yeah.
So I wasn't mad. I'm mad because I don't like to see anybody tear their ACL.
Yeah, that's a terrible gig.
Yeah.
And not only that. You're talking about him coming back from a year from when you tore it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so that's like you won't get into game shape until the game's already going, and that's when you're just getting Carson Wentz back.
Yeah, and not only that, once again, one more thing is that football players, especially running backs, have a short lifespan.
Yes.
So how many more
as
can
is.
Yeah.
You have a 4-year lifespan as is.
You got guys which they keep recycling like the Frank Gores and Alfred Morrises and whatever. Those are just like, to me, as far as baseball, as being an innings eater. They're not a threat really. They'll milk the clock and everything. You can play ball control with them, but you're never worried about them breaking loose and busting one for 60 or 70 yards or nothing. They just milk the clock. They get you 3, 4, and then they probably.
Speaking of which, Alex Smith tried to kill Adrian Peterson this week.
What did he do? I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness! Why?
Laid him over the middle.
No, just stared at him the whole time. He was the check down and got his knees taken out.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Terrible passes. Yeah, it was. Alex Smith has come back to earth, and I think Redskins fans now recognize the downgrade that they got from when they had Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I don't understand. I never understood that situation, why they never wanted to pay him.
I don't understand. And they were paying him. That's the thing.
Right.
They were paying him $25 million a year.
All they want to do is slap that franchise on him.
Yeah,
that franchise have.
Keep paying him one-offs. I don't understand. Wow. Matt Ryan. I got Matt Ryan on my team. Matt Ryan got busted up. The Atlanta Falcons are a real disappointment. It's amazing for me to see how much that offensive coordinator meant to them. Oh, they just have not been the same.
They have not been the same at all because
anywhere near.
Yeah, well, and even when he was there, though, I just have a problem when you have one of the most dominant receivers in recent memory that can't get into the end zone. It is very unacceptable for Julio Jones not to have a touchdown. Julio Jones,
every game.
Come on, man. The dude, he doesn't have a touchdown now.
I'm saying every game he should have at least one tug.
And he has none. You got to get him the ball. He needs to be in the end zone, some form or fashion. I don't care if it's a trick play. I don't care if we got to go to the sandlot, but you have to draw something up.
I need Julio.
Yeah, where Julio. I get the stretch.
I need him to get the stretch.
I need him to style it, to wow it,
to live it up in the end zone.
Yeah, but he can't. They can't figure out how to get him the ball in the end zone.
They can figure out how to get blown out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's very, very disappointing. But you know what? I think that Matt Ryan's going to have a good game this week.
Is he okay? I know they sent him out for X-rays.
Yeah, football players are tough. Usually, it takes a lot to get them out. Of course, that we won't know until game time. They love a good game time call, so you can't set your lineup.
And that's what cost me a game. I'm actually 3-2, and I should be 4-1. And the football fantasy is short. You don't get all the time.
True.
You got anything else you want to throw in?
That's it.
Man, it's a road edition of the Ozone, folks. We're a little worn out. We come back with some better energy, and we'll be back for ya. I'll leave you with a wise Kenyan proverb, which says, a man who uses force is afraid of using reasoning. We're all in this thing together, folks. Love it or hate it. Let's live in unity and in peace. This is your host, Omar Miller, and you are in the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is not just a game. This here is my life. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah.